Some people ask for help easily. Others would rather struggle in silence than let anyone know they're hurting. They solve their own problems. They hide their emotions. They carry stress quietly. From the outside, they look strong, independent, and in control. But psychology tells us something surprising. People who never ask for help are not always trying to be strong. Often, they're trying to stay safe. Their silence is usually shaped by experiences, disappointments, and beliefs formed years ago. In this video, we'll explore 8 hidden psychological reasons why some people never ask for help and what their silence really means. 1. They learned to rely only on themselves. Many people who never ask for help learned early in life that they couldn't depend on others. Maybe they were ignored. Maybe they were disappointed. Maybe they had to grow up too fast. Over time, their brain created one rule: if I do everything myself, I won't get hurt. This mindset becomes a habit. Even when support is available, they choose to handle everything alone. People admire their independence, but few see the pressure they carry. The truth is, extreme independence is often a form of self-protection. 2. They don't want to feel like a burden. Some people stay silent because they think their problems will bother others. They fear being seen as needy. They worry about asking for too much, so instead of reaching out, they say, "I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I can handle it." But inside, they may be overwhelmed. Ironically, these people are often the first to help everyone else. Helping feels safe. Receiving help feels vulnerable, so they carry their struggles quietly, hoping someone notices without them having to ask 3. They fear rejection. Asking for help requires trust, and trust can feel dangerous when someone has been rejected before. Maybe they asked for support in the past and were ignored. Maybe they were judged. Maybe someone made them feel weak. Their brain remembers those experiences. Now, every time they think about asking for help, a hidden fear appears. What if they say no? To avoid that pain, they stay silent, because in their mind, silence feels safer than rejection. 4. They believe strength means handling everything alone. Society often praises people who never complain. We call them strong, independent, reliable. Over time, some people build their identity around being the person who never needs help. But this creates pressure, because now they feel they must always appear capable, even when they're tired, even when they're struggling. They believe strong people don't ask for help. But real strength isn't carrying every burden alone. Real strength is knowing when to let others support you. 5. They don't know how to express their emotions. Not everyone grows up learning how to talk about feelings. Some people were taught, stop crying, be strong, keep it to yourself. As adults, they still feel emotions deeply, but they don't know how to explain what they feel. So, they stay quiet. Instead of saying, "I need help," they withdraw. They isolate themselves. They pretend everything is fine. Sometimes silence doesn't mean someone is okay. Sometimes it means they don't know how to ask. 6. They don't want to lose control. For many people who never ask for help, the real issue isn't pride. It's control. Over the years, they've learned that depending on other people can lead to disappointment. Maybe someone didn't show up when they needed them. Maybe promises were broken. Maybe they were forced to solve problems alone from a young age. Those experiences taught them one powerful lesson. If I stay in control, I can't be hurt. That belief slowly becomes part of who they are. They plan everything carefully. They rarely ask for favors. They prefer doing things themselves, even if it takes twice as long. To other people, they look organized and responsible. But inside, they're carrying an invisible pressure to keep everything together. When life becomes difficult, they don't reach out. Instead, they work longer hours, hide their emotions, and convince themselves they can handle just one more challenge. They believe asking for help means losing control over the situation, or worse, losing control over how others see them. But the truth is, trying to control everything is exhausting. No one can solve every problem alone forever. Psychologists explain that people with this mindset often confuse control with safety. They believe that if they let someone else help, they become vulnerable. Yet real security doesn't come from doing everything yourself. It comes from knowing you don't have to. The strongest people aren't the ones who never need support. They're the ones who understand that accepting help doesn't make them weaker. It gives them more strength to keep moving forward. Sometimes letting someone stand beside you is not giving up control. It's choosing trust over fear. 7. They think no one will truly understand. One of the deepest reasons people avoid asking for help is the belief that no one will truly understand what they're going through. This belief usually doesn't appear overnight. It grows after years of feeling misunderstood. Maybe they shared their feelings once and were laughed at. Maybe someone told them they were overreacting. Maybe they opened up only to be ignored or judged. After enough painful experiences, they stop expecting understanding from anyone. Instead of explaining their emotions, they hide them. Instead of asking for support, they stay silent. Inside their mind, they quietly think, even if I tell someone, it won't change anything. So they smile. They keep working. They continue acting as if everything is normal. But silence doesn't mean the pain has disappeared. It simply means they've stopped believing that talking about it will help. Ironically, these people often become incredible listeners. Because they know what it feels like to be misunderstood, they make sure others feel heard. They offer advice. They comfort friends. They show kindness to everyone around them. Yet when they need the same kindness, they convince themselves to stay quiet. The human brain naturally protects itself from repeated emotional pain. If opening up has led to disappointment before, avoiding vulnerability starts to feel like the safest option. But healing begins when someone realizes that not everyone will respond the same way. The right people won't judge your struggles. They'll listen. They'll care. And sometimes, being understood by just one person can change the way you see the world forever. 8. Their silence is often a cry. No one hears. The biggest misunderstanding about quiet people is that everyone assumes they're okay. They don't complain. They don't ask for attention. They don't tell people they're struggling. So everyone believes they're handling life just fine. But appearances can be incredibly misleading. Some of the people carrying the heaviest emotional burdens are also the ones smiling the most. They've become experts at hiding stress behind calm faces. They continue showing up for work. They take care of their families. They support their friends. They laugh during conversations. Meanwhile, inside, they're fighting battles no one knows about. The heartbreaking part is that many of them secretly wish someone would notice. Not because they want sympathy, but because they're tired of carrying everything alone. They hope someone will ask, "How are you really?" Sometimes that's all they need. A genuine question. A patient listener. A reminder that they don't have to be strong every single day. Psychology tells us that emotional pain becomes heavier when it's carried in silence. Connection doesn't erase every problem, but it makes difficult moments easier to survive. That's why we should never assume that the quietest person in the room has the easiest life. Sometimes silence isn't confidence. It isn't peace. It isn't strength. Sometimes silence is simply the only way they know how to protect themselves. And that's exactly why kindness matters. Because one sincere conversation, one thoughtful message, or one person willing to listen can become the reason someone finally realizes they don't have to fight every battle alone. If there's one lesson to remember, it's this: the people who never ask for help aren't always the strongest. They're often the ones who've learned to hide their pain the best. So be kind, check in on the quiet people around you, and never assume that silence means someone is okay. If this video gave you a new perspective, hit like, subscribe, and join Wise Habits for more powerful psychology insights that can change the way you see yourself and the people around you. See you in the next video.